WWE have announced an Impact Wrestling star for the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns' next Universal Title opponent has been revealed, and 2 Impact stars have been pulled from tonight's pay-per-view. Stay tuned. So, a rather eventful SmackDown last night, but the thing that everybody is talking about this morning is the fact that an Impact Wrestling star has been announced for the Royal Rumble. She's ex-WWE. She was released a little while ago, and it was a little bit awkward as well. Mickie James is going to be competing in the 2022 Women's Royal Rumble match. Now, this is interesting because they had a bit of a dodgy breakup, shall we say. When she was released by WWE, they sent her belongings in a trash bag, and it caused a bit of controversy online. And this was even sort of acknowledged on commentary as well. With Pat saying that she has a bit of an axe to grind with the garbage that happened in the past. See what he did there? See what he did there? But it's really interesting. This is like the first time in a long while that Impact Wrestling has been acknowledged by WWE. The last time that I can remember was like a Kurt Angle promo. So a fair few years ago now. But it's going to be... I mean... She's obviously not going to win it, but it's a bit of a nice promotion. But
yeah,
you can see why they want her there, because she's one of the greatest to ever do it in WWE. But yeah, just the fact that she's so keen to go back, and in fact, Impact VP Scott D'Amore has actually released a statement about this, saying WWE wanted it, Mickie wanted it, and Impact Wrestling's philosophy is always work with other major promotions to create buzz for the fans. Everything is signed and agreed with WWE and Impact Wrestling. The only question is whether or not Mickie will enter one of WWE's most historic annual matches as the reigning Knockouts World Champion. Nice bit of a plug for the pay-per-view as well there. So, I mean, I'm genuinely really buzzing about this. I think it's cool that she's agreed to do it, because obviously there was a bit of bad blood there. But it'll be nice to see her back in a WWE ring.
Absolutely, and I think as well, like maybe thinking about something else further down the line. Maybe a Hall of Fame appearance. You know, I think she very much deserves it. She was such a huge staple of the women's division in like the late 2000s and early 2010s and everything too. And I mean, it's not that, as you were saying, it's not the first time we've obviously seen Impact and WWE work together. I think there was a point in 2012 where the Four Horsemen got inducted into the Hall of Fame and Flair was still under contract. So I think WWE lent Impact Christian, even though he was the Intercontinental Champion, for a little bit. So it's not like this hasn't happened before. I guess another interesting thing also is the fact of Impact having relationships with like AEW and everything as well. Like these things are all coming together a little bit, and you know, we've seen Chris Jericho turn up on the Broken Skull sessions and stuff like that, and I'm not saying that I think this is going to open the door to wider things.
I was avoiding the forbidden door thing. It is interesting.
You know, it is really interesting. And imagine if Mickie James does turn up on WWE TV with the Impact Knockouts Championship as well.
I hope they let her. I think that'd be
really,
a nice
really
thing
cool.
to do, especially since it was a dodgy breakup. And they want her back, essentially, because, let's face it, the women's division isn't strong enough to get 30 women in there. They're having to rely on part-timers, former WWE superstars, rather, to fill out the numbers. And so it would be nice for them to allow her to do that. I mean, they acknowledged Impact last night, so who's to say that she won't walk out there with the belt if she still holds it. Plenty more names announced for the Women's Royal Rumble. Also, Carmella, Dana Brooke, Nikki ASH, Queen Zelina, Rhea Ripley, and Tamina, all from Raw. You've got Aaliyah, Charlotte Flair, there's your winner, Naomi, Natalya, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi from SmackDown, and you've got the Bellas, Lita, Kelly. So good, they named her twice. Michelle McCool, Mickie James, of course, and Summer Rae from the old days. So no, I think that's... They can only do this so many times, is my concern. They do tend to rely, as I say, on previous WWE superstars. I think it makes it clear that there is a bit of a problem with the women's division, and that they do need to make some new stars for sure.
Absolutely.
But that isn't it for the Royal Rumble, because Roman Reigns' opponent for the Universal Championship has also been announced. Who's that?
It's it's Seth Rollins.
Oh.
It's Seth Rollins. He on the show last night, Adam Pearce told Sonya Deville that Roman Reigns will be defending his belt at the Royal Rumble and said he would reveal his opponent at the end of the night. And then at the end of the show, Roman sat in the locker room and Seth Rollins just comes in, laughs at Roman Reigns. The two have a bit of a stare off, and then that's it. So it's sorted. The interesting thing I think here is that with everything we've been hearing too, is that Seth Rollins was sort of pitched to be the winner of that match at day one as well for the WWE Championship. And I think at this point, we've heard that the plans for WrestleMania are very much staying the same. However, the road to get there is going to be different. This feels like it's being thrown together, but at the same time, it's interesting as well. I quite like where this is going.
Do you reckon this is just them doing a little bit of a switcheroo and instead of the blue belt, it's going to be the black belt and vice versa? And so that's the only real change. You think the two world title matches, they're set, but they just sort of swap the belts. I mean, I'm really excited. They've obviously got great chemistry. I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but they got a bit of history as well. I mean,
Really?
No. Yeah, they used to be in a thing together. I think it was called Legacy.
The sword.
They're great. Yeah, that was it. No, I'm really, really excited for it. I love how unpredictable both world title pictures are now, because a lot of people thought that Roman Reigns' reign was getting a little bit stagnant, perhaps. People were tiring of it, and I think Brock winning at day one, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea where they're heading for WrestleMania. You've got to imagine it's still going to be Brock Roman, surely?
Yeah,
I think they want to get back there, but I don't know, and I love that. That makes the product more exciting, for sure. So, plenty of matches now announced for the Rumble. You've got the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches. You've got Seth versus Roman. That hasn't actually been formally announced yet, but it's pretty damn obvious at this point. You've got Brock versus Bobby. That's going to be excellent. You got Becky Lynch versus Bianca or Doudrop or Liv Morgan. That'll be decided shortly. And of course, you've got Edge and Beth versus The Miz and Maurice. Back to Impact now. And unfortunate news, because it is Hard to Kill. And two of the biggest names on the show, unfortunately, won't be able to perform due to COVID-related reasons. The former Iconics, Cassie Lee, Jessica McKay. It's a cautionary move, so they don't necessarily have COVID or anything. But once again, Scott D'Amore releasing a statement regarding this, saying, Impact's COVID protocols are in place to keep our talent, roster, staff, and fans safe. I'm sure the fans will share the inspirations and my disappointment that they won't be in action at tomorrow's stacked Hard to Kill event. It's tonight, actually. But we look forward to their return soon. So, yeah, they've just been in close contact with somebody or numerous people who have COVID. They won't be there tonight, which is it's a shame, because that was one of the matches that I was sort of more looking forward to. But there's still other really good stuff on the show. You got Moose Cardona and W Morrissey on there. You've obviously got Mickey James on there versus Deanna. So there's loads of really, really good stuff. So we'll see how they deal with that. But it is a shame. Obviously, they were a big part of the show. We are finishing off with some interesting news regarding one Kairi Sane. So, she is still under WWE contract. However, it's been revealed, per the Wrestling Observer newsletter, that her deal is up next month. And I think it's not 100%, but I'd be very, very surprised if she sticks around. A lot of people are saying, obviously, as they do, whenever anyone leaves WWE, hey, they're going to go AEW. But she's made it clear in the past that she wants to be in Japan with her fiance. And so I think that's very, very unlikely. But I think we'll see her step foot back in the ring pretty soon.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I remember that I think Stardom have some interest in getting her back into the company as well. I think she even asked if she could be part of a Stardom show whilst under contract with WWE, and they unfortunately denied it, so she wasn't able to do that. So I can imagine her going back there. She's also got her fitness gym now that she's opened up as well, so I imagine she'll probably take quite a bit of time to focus on that too. But absolutely, I don't think it's the last time we see her in in the ring again. I think, you know, even part-time wise, she could turn up in AEW or just Impact or anywhere really, you know. But I think she very much, from what it sounds like, she very much wants to stay in Japan.
Totally, and we've seen it various times before with like New Japan wrestlers popping up in AEW just for a showcase match, essentially, just an exhibition. And so it wouldn't surprise me if we get that at some point, and that'd be a hell of a get. Like I'd love to see Kairi wrestle again. To be honest, she's somebody that's like really missed. Things aren't as good without her, unfortunately.
No, that's true actually. Like,
she really is excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a shame because I don't feel like we really saw. It seems unfair to say what she had to offer because we all know what she has to offer, but she never quite reached the level that she should have done in WWE. So onwards and upwards. Anyway, we will be back very, very shortly with some more wrestling news. So check back in a little bit. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.